The job description of a civil engineer encompasses the design, construction, and maintenance of infrastructure projects that form the backbone of modern society. Civil engineers are responsible for developing safe, efficient, and sustainable solutions in areas such as transportation, water supply, urban development, and environmental protection. They are employed by government agencies, private construction firms, consultancy agencies, and international development organizations. Their work ranges from planning highways, bridges, and buildings to overseeing sewage treatment facilities, dams, and irrigation systems. At its core, the civil engineering profession combines scientific knowledge with practical execution. Civil engineers begin by assessing project feasibility through detailed site analyses, cost estimation, risk assessment, and regulatory compliance checks. These preliminary studies inform the design and planning phase, during which civil engineers prepare blueprints, technical specifications, and construction strategies using tools like CAD, computer-aided design software. Collaboration is central to the role. Civil engineers often work with architects, surveyors, environmental specialists, and contractors to ensure every element of the project aligns with engineering standards and client objectives. One of the fundamental responsibilities of a civil engineer is to guarantee public safety. Whether it's a towering office building in an earthquake-prone zone or a bridge spanning a high-traffic river, civil engineers must calculate structural loads, account for environmental forces, and choose materials that will withstand long-term stress and climate variations. In this way, civil engineering is not only a technical discipline but also an ethical commitment to societal well-being. Primary responsibilities of a civil engineer. Civil engineers typically start their projects by analyzing survey reports, maps, and geographic data to plan infrastructure layouts. Using tools like GIS, Geographic Information Systems, they evaluate land elevations, water flow, soil conditions, and urban zoning to determine the suitability of the location. These findings help create designs that are structurally sound, cost-effective, and environmentally sustainable. Once the preliminary analysis is complete, civil engineers shift to designing the physical systems. This includes preparing detailed plans for roads, foundations, drainage systems, water treatment units, and structural reinforcements. The design must comply with building codes, environmental regulations, and client specifications. Engineers must also calculate load capacities, stress tolerances, and safety margins while ensuring that the proposed materials, dimensions, and techniques align with industry standards. In the middle of the project lifecycle, the job description of a civil engineer emphasizes their role as site supervisors and project coordinators. Civil engineers frequently visit construction sites to monitor progress, resolve unforeseen issues, and ensure that work adheres to approved designs. They conduct inspections, test materials, and document all activities for transparency and accountability. Effective site management involves supervising contractors, enforcing safety protocols, and adjusting construction plans when on-the-ground conditions demand it. Civil engineers are also tasked with budgeting and cost control. They estimate quantities of materials, labor hours, equipment needs, and logistical support. During construction, they monitor expenditures, compare them against the budget, and make adjustments to prevent cost overruns. This financial oversight is essential, especially for public infrastructure projects where government funding is allocated with strict accountability. Another critical responsibility is regulatory compliance. Civil engineers must secure necessary permits, conduct environmental impact assessments, and prepare documentation for audits. They also need to communicate regularly with regulatory bodies, stakeholders, and community leaders to keep them informed and engaged throughout the construction process. In many large-scale projects, civil engineers may participate in public consultations to address community concerns and incorporate feedback into project plans. Post-construction, civil engineers are responsible for testing and commissioning the completed infrastructure. This phase includes performance assessments, stress tests, and verification of safety systems. Any defects or deficiencies must be corrected before the project is considered complete. In addition, civil engineers often provide maintenance plans or asset management strategies to ensure the long-term functionality of the structure. Skills and qualities required for the role. To succeed as a civil engineer, one must possess a diverse set of skills that combine analytical ability, technical knowledge and interpersonal competence. Foremost among these is a strong foundation in mathematics and physics. Civil engineers frequently solve complex equations related to structural forces, fluid dynamics, and geotechnical behavior. Precision in calculations is non-negotiable, as even minor errors can compromise the integrity of a structure. Design skills are also critical. Civil engineers must be proficient in drafting software such as AutoCAD, Revit, or Civil 3D. The ability to visualize structures in 3D, simulate environmental stresses, and iterate on design options is invaluable during both planning and execution phases. Project management abilities are equally important. Civil engineers must plan timelines, coordinate teams, allocate resources, and ensure that project milestones are achieved. Familiarity with project management tools like Microsoft Project or Primavera P6 is often expected. Leadership is a natural extension of this skill, as civil engineers often lead cross-functional teams in high-pressure environments. Communication and collaboration are indispensable in civil engineering. Engineers must present their ideas clearly in meetings, reports, and public hearings. They need to translate technical concepts into understandable terms for non-engineers while also understanding input from environmentalists, architects, and community representatives. Problem-solving and adaptability are crucial traits. On construction sites, unexpected challenges such as soil instability, weather disruptions, or supply chain issues may arise. A civil engineer must respond quickly, propose viable alternatives, and make decisions that preserve both safety and project goals. Ethical awareness and accountability round out the essential qualities. Civil engineers are responsible for projects that directly impact lives and communities. They must adhere to professional codes of conduct, prioritize public safety, and respect environmental guidelines. Work environment and practical considerations. Civil engineers work in a variety of settings. While much of the planning and design occurs in office environments, a significant portion of their time is spent on site, where they inspect construction progress, troubleshoot technical issues, and liaise with contractors. Fieldwork may involve exposure to noise, weather extremes, and safety risks, requiring appropriate protective gear and adherence to safety regulations. The job can be physically and mentally demanding. Engineers often work long hours to meet deadlines, especially during critical construction phases. Travel is common, particularly for engineers involved in regional or international projects. In remote or undeveloped areas, civil engineers may face logistical challenges such as limited infrastructure or harsh terrain. Despite these demands, the profession offers immense satisfaction. Civil engineers witness the tangible results of their work in the form of roads, bridges, airports, and other public amenities. Their contributions improve living standards, boost economic activity, and shape the future of urban and rural landscapes. Salaries for civil engineers vary depending on experience, location, and specialization. Entry-level engineers may start with modest pay, but senior professionals with project management responsibilities or specialized expertise often command lucrative compensation. In addition, job stability is relatively high, as infrastructure development remains a priority across both public and private sectors. Education and professional development. A bachelor's degree in civil engineering or a closely related field is typically required to enter the profession. Core subjects include structural analysis, fluid mechanics, materials science, geotechnical engineering, and construction management. Many universities also offer hands-on labs, internships, and capstone projects that simulate real-world challenges. To advance in the field, many civil engineers pursue licensure as professional engineers, PE. This requires passing the Fundamentals of Engineering, FE, exam, gaining work experience under a licensed engineer, and passing the PE exam. Licensure enhances credibility and is often required for roles involving public safety or signing off on structural designs. Continuing education is vital in civil engineering. Professionals must stay updated with evolving building codes, new construction technologies, and sustainability practices. Certifications in project management, e.g., PMP, environmental compliance, or software proficiency can also enhance career prospects. Career progression may lead to roles such as senior civil engineer, project manager, engineering consultant, or director of infrastructure. Some civil engineers transition into academia, urban planning, or entrepreneurship, using their experience to influence broader policy or development initiatives. Conclusion. The job description of a civil engineer underscores a profession that is both technically demanding and socially impactful. These professionals are responsible for creating the physical frameworks upon which societies depend, from transportation networks to water systems and beyond. Civil engineers balance science, creativity, and leadership to deliver projects that serve the public and stand the test of time. For individuals who enjoy solving real-world problems, working with teams, and leaving a visible legacy in the form of infrastructure, civil engineering offers a fulfilling and dynamic career. With the world increasingly focused on sustainable development and resilient urban planning, the role of the civil engineer is more critical than ever.